everybody. As you can see, we are back in the combine. It's taken me 2 weeks. We did get it put back together. So we ended up having the primary counter shaft bearing on the right hand side go out, and it went out. That's what caused a little bit of the thermal event fire we had over there. It wasn't too bad of a fire, so we didn't have any damage there, but man, that freaking bearing was a pain to get out. We found a parts machine a couple hours away, went and picked up some parts for it, got them back home, broke those parts in the process of trying to get them disassembled and put them in my machine. So we ended up having to buy new parts from John Deere anyways, new bearing housing. So that was a very expensive downtime. I do have some other spare parts now. I got a shaft and some pulleys and some belts. Well, I guess that is one good thing about the parts machine. We are going to go try to finish soybeans today. We've got about 10 acres left of soybeans, including 10 or 11 varieties in our soybean test plot. So far, the first 8 varieties that we harvested came out to about 72 to 73 bushel an acre average. So that's pretty impressive beans that the kind of year we have. So we're going to go ahead and get on down to the field. The header's sitting in the field. We're going to shut the combine down. Still need to blow out the air filter, throw some grease in a couple grease fittings, and then should be dry enough now that the sun's popped out, so we should be able to get started. Well, we went ahead and ran down to the neighbors, got the seed tender, that way we can weigh out this test plot. I walked through the beans, guys. They're dry, they're gonna go. So we got the grain truck parked, we got the weigh wagon, seed tender ready to go. We're gonna cut some of these other beans first, make sure the combine is set right after those repairs we made before we actually dive into the test plots. Got to put in a new air filter, grease the machine, and then we're ready to hook the head up and go cut some beans. Well, if it's not one thing, it's another. We got the combine running. We got about 2 rounds in and sheared the bolts off on the knife on the head. So we're gonna head down to the shop and see if we can get that son of a bitch fixed. Well, we're rolling again. Good or bad or indifferent, it is what it is. I'm just trying to get this deck of beans out. I got about 30 acres of corn to do. Then we're going to chalk 20-25 up to being done. At this point, I'm not so sure it wouldn't be cheaper for me to just have it on my farm custom harvested. For the couple $1,000 that it cost me to have somebody come in and harvest it, I'd probably save that in what I spent in repairs this year. So we're going to get back after it. Probably dip into this test plot, see if we can get it knocked out. Hopefully just get it done. Seriously, if it's not one thing, it's another. The daggum rotary screen belt popped off. I think a little spring broke that was holding tension on it. I'm telling you, they just don't want me to get these beans done. Well, we limped it along, and we got the test plot done. I think that primary counter shaft is bent. I'm pretty convinced it is. So we're just going to try to get these beans done and probably call a neighbor and see if he's willing to come shell our corn for us. Sub 10 moisture, so it doesn't really surprise me, but they are incredibly dusty. I'm sure you can't tell from the video the vibration that we still have from that primary counter shaft. Like I said, guys, I am pretty sure it is bent. We're just going to do what we can, hopefully get these beans done, and then reevaluate. Might have to have somebody come in and shell our corn for us, but we shall see. Couldn't quite fit it all in the truck. Nope. We hauled a load in the combine down here. We're emptying the truck, loading the truck, kind of like a gravity wagon or a auger car for some people. Well, this is definitely not where I want to be halfway through my season. We did have another major failure. After we replaced the counter shaft bearing the first time, we discovered that the shaft was bent. So we are part of the way through disassembly again. As you can see, we've got this outer sheave already taken off. It's sitting in there. We've got this cylinder taken off. The belts are loose. We've got all these other belts loose. The next step is to put a puller on this sheave, pop this loose, get the inner sheave off. That'll give us access to this bearing and pillow block right back there. Once we get those taken loose, we'll pop over to the other side because, you know, since the shaft is bad, we got to take both sides out. And this is the side that gets really fun. So underneath here, we've got to take the clutch off. Now this is the header clutch. We've taken the brush module off. You can see that hanging right there. We need to loosen these hydro belts, which are these right here. Big tensioning bolt right there. Loosen him up. That'll allow us to loosen those belts. We need to take this belt off, at least this sheave. Loosen the nut, put another puller on this guy, hopefully get it popped loose. It says it's a two-person job, but we're a one-man wrecking crew, so we'll see what we can do. Hopefully we can get that sucker down and not break a knee in the process. Once we get that taken off, that'll give us access to take the whole shaft out that direction. Once we get the whole shaft out that direction, we will take off the bearings and the hangers, the pillow blocks. We've got a new to us shaft sitting over here in the floorboard. Hopefully it's straight. From what I can tell, it is straight. So we will get those bearings popped off the rest of the way and then put that shaft in. Like I said, hopefully it is straight. We did break that pillow block in the process of trying to get off the first time. Of course, that guy there's about 650 bucks. So had to buy one from John Deere. Kind of is what it is. We'll be a lot more gentle taking that one off, and hopefully we don't destroy that one in the process. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna put you down for a little bit, get my hands greasy, take some more stuff apart, and we'll catch back up with you. Good shaft, bad shaft. We did finally get it disassembled. It took us several hours, but we were able to save one pillow block and bearing. That's the new one that we put on, so that's good. This here, that one's obviously shot. $650 paperweight there. This is the other one we took off. We're gonna drop a new bearing and new lock collar on it. Should be good to go. Over here we have the electric clutch. The nice part is, since I do have one from the takeoff machine, I can compare them, make sure that I put the best one back on, make sure that none of my clutches are getting worn or seals are going bad or anything. So we'll get that inspected here in a little while. The major other thing we need to do is this seal is bad on this sheave. I've got some new ones. We're going to go ahead and replace both of them. That actually slung out all the grease on the side of the combine in just a matter of a few hours. It slung it out. That's what all this black splatter and all that gunk is. You can really tell it up there. That's what everything's from. There is just the grease getting slung out. So as you can see, we got a big empty spot right there. We got the primary counter shaft out. It did have to come out this direction, so it really wasn't too bad. It takes a special puller to pop that inside sheave off. You bring it down, and then there's just 3 bolts that hold that pillow block on. One here, one up there, and then this strap goes on top and goes across and holds them together. Kind of cuts down on the vibration. Obviously had to take a ton of belts off, ton of things loose. Interestingly, I don't know how it got this way, but on this side, after we got everything taken apart, we discovered that the pillow block on this side that was sitting right there did not have a top bolt in it. So I don't know if that was from the severe vibrations after we replaced the bearing, or if it was always like that, but definitely not something we want to run for very long. We did obviously have to take our main separator belt off. We had to remove that whole shield that kind of sit like this. Had to take it off. The hydro belts, we got those loosened up and pulled off. This here is actually our feeder house drive belt. It goes back behind there, and then our reel pump up here. We had to obviously take that belt loose. Did have to take this hose off just so there was enough room to come out and down with that shiv. They're heavy, they're about 80 pounds, so you can't really maneuver them very well. You have to be able to get them in and get them out. So that's all the teardown we have to do, other than popping out the old bearings out of the pillow blocks, putting new bearings in, replacing those seals, and kind of cleaning some shafts up. That should be it. So all in all, that took a couple hours. Total teardown, we're probably 5 or 6 hours. No, probably not that. Probably 4 hours in teardown, but this is also the second time I've done it in a month. So to say I'm experienced would be an understatement. Not really something you want to be experienced in. I'll show you how we know that this shaft is bad. Besides the crazy vibrations, if we put the good shaft on the left next to the bad shaft on the right, pay attention to this gap right here as we roll it. There you go, that's better. So you can see there that gap is pretty far apart. If we roll it on, that gap closes up. So it's not much, but when you're spinning at 300-400 RPMs, yeah, that shaft definitely on the right has a little bit of a bend to it, and it's just enough to cause a vibration. And I mean, you can tell from just looking at it, it definitely got hot right here when that bearing failed. So that's shot. I don't know what we're gonna do with that. I don't know, make a corner post for a property marker or something. So anyways, guys, that's it for the teardown. I'm gonna go ahead and get these seals replaced, get a couple bearings popped into those new pillow blocks. We're gonna wait till tomorrow to put it back together, because it's definitely a two-man job getting that shaft slid back in there. Wait for Dad to get back here and get that put back in. So we got a few things to do here. We'll catch back up with you tomorrow, show you the install. Well, that was a lot more fun than it should have been. We were able to get the shaft slid back in. Obviously got new bearings in the pillow blocks. As you can see, we are halfway through the reassembly process. We got this side all put on. So you got your reel belt back here. We got it put on, and our feeder house drive belt, which runs down there, that gets put on before this outside actual clutch gets put on. That sucker's heavy, so it definitely helps to have a second pair of hands. Obviously you can see we've got the floor of the cab opened up. Dad was able to reach down from inside there and help hold it. Got her torqued down. It says 250 foot-pounds for that big nut, which equals tight. Big breaker bar and a cheater pipe, about as tight as we can get it. Got our hydro belts tightened up. Again, we tightened up that big bolt. They say that big spring back here is supposed to be 17 inches for the working width, so we just got it measured up. It's 17 inches. That tightens the lower and the upper. Guys, this side's done. Other than putting that little brush motor back on, throwing some grease in it, we're good to go. I don't know how, but we did it. We finally got this thing put back together. These shivs here were kind of a pain, mainly because we replaced these seals. There's one on the inside too. The first time we took it apart and put it back together, we knew the shaft was out because obviously it slung the grease everywhere. But those seals were also bad, so we had to be real careful getting this heavy shiv put back on there. But we got it on there. We're in good shape. We got all our belts tensioned. We had to tension this guy, adjust him pretty good. We got our chopper belt in the back, tensioned up back here. We're in good shape back there. Everything operates like it should. I haven't sped the cylinder up a ton yet, but we'll do that here in a little bit. Just make sure everything works. I wanted to roll everything nice and slow. Need to tighten that chain up a little bit more. That's a pretty easy fix. So yeah, guys, all in all, that was a pain. Highly don't recommend. I would say if you have that primary countershaft right there, that guy, if he goes out, call a friend, because definitely a two-person job, and definitely one of those people should not be you, if all possible. But we saved a lot of money by doing it ourselves. I think we did have to borrow some parts from other combines, buy some parts from John Deere. Those are expensive. Here's our nice bent shaft. All we gotta do is throw our shields on, toss them suckers on. We should be good to go. And we got some extra parts in case, you know, the next guy that owns this machine wants to go into it. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. I'm gonna get these shields tossed on, run it a little bit more, probably go ahead and hook up the corn head. That way we're ready to start setting things for corn. Corn's still a little bit wet, but we gotta haul a load before the 15th of this month, and we're already at the 5th. So got a few days, but hopefully it dries down a few more points and we can get some loads cut, haul them into town. Appreciate you hanging out with me, guys. I know it wasn't a whole lot of fun, but it was even less fun for me, I can guarantee you. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.